Yeah, hey Bryce. Just want to ask you about Ja'Cory Brooks. Just how did you think he kind of stepped up in this last game, and how has he kind of gradually done that over the course of the season?
Yeah, Ja'Cory stepped up tremendously last week, last game. I think he's really, growing into that role of being someone we can depend on down in and down out. Someone who obviously at the beginning of the season wasn't getting the reps that he's getting now, but that didn't discourage him at all. He stayed ready. He stayed focused, stayed locked in. And I think that's really showing as of late. Someone when his name was called, he responded, and that's always been a big thing for us is, having that next man up. So it's been time for him to step up, and he's been doing a great job of that so far. And I have all the confidence in the world with him to continue to do that.
Our next question comes from Joey Blackwell. Joey, go ahead.
Hey, Bryce. Jordan Davis for Georgia said that he and his teammates have referred to you as the Gingerbread Man because of your ability to run in the backfield and evade would-be tacklers. And I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on that nickname they've given you?
I mean, I hadn't heard that until now, but I guess take it as a compliment. But that stuff, you can't control. We know how good that front seven is. We have a ton of respect for them. That box, the entire defense. We understand the challenges at hand. So, there's a respect factor there. So, we have respect. It's just on us to prepare during the week to put ourselves in the best position to be successful, and then execute when the time comes.
Next question will come from Paul Newberry. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Bryce. Generally, what is it, the secret to Coach Saban that allows him, a guy who's, almost 50 years or 50 years older than a lot of the guys he's coaching, to be able to relate to them and get them to listen to him and do what he wants? Obviously, it seems like would be a big part of his success to stay this good for this long. And do you remember anything just personally when you were being recruited by him, what drew you to not just Alabama and the winning, but him personally from talking to you?
Yeah, I think it starts all with the respect that we have for him. Obviously, what he's produced throughout his entire career, what he's meant to, this program, to the state. It really starts with the respect we all have for him. And then also really talks to Coach Saban how he's adapted over the years. The game has changed since he's been coaching. The players, the landscape of college football, football in general has changed. And for him to, be able to adapt, multiple times throughout his career, that's not easy for guys who have been doing it so long. And for him to have all the success he's had and then still be able to adapt and, kind of change, how he approaches everything. We see that, we recognize that, and that means a lot for us. And for me in recruiting, what really stuck out was how real he was. He never, some coaches can make you promises in recruiting. And, once you really understand it and start to think about it, nothing's promised in recruiting. And, when you start to hear those promises, it starts to become a little bit of a red flag, knowing that, hearing coach promise you this or that when, you've heard it might not be like that when you get there. Coach Saban was always direct with me. He never promised me anything. He only promised me opportunities to compete. He had told me from the jump in recruiting that this wasn't a place for everyone, and exactly the type of player and person that he was looking for and that he knows thrives in this organization. And that was the person and player that I strive to be. So he was always honest, always real with me in recruiting, and that's something that really stuck with me and really separated this place from every other place in the country.
Our next question comes from Nick Kelly. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Bryce. Obviously, Alabama's had quite a run at quarterback with Mac, Tua, yourself. Have you heard from those guys at all during this kind of crazy month you've had, and if so, what's been the message from them?
Yeah, I had heard from, and like you said, there's such a rich quarterback history here. I've heard from. I talked to Mac not too long ago, a couple of days ago, and him just telling me to keep going to finish, to lock in and all that. It's just to make sure that we finish everything off right. And to have to hear from Mac, really on a regular basis, and just to have that, that respect from the other guys in the past, for me that means a lot. Coming here, I understood the rich quarterback history. Being able to watch Mac last year, I really got to see what it was like, being right next to him. So carrying on that legacy and doing what I can to, improve it, that means a lot to me. And I take a lot of pride in that. And, I think all those quarterbacks understand, being here and what our goal is as a team. So, kind of being able to tap into that and feed into that, knowing that, winning this game is always the goal for us at this program. So, just being able to feed off of that means a lot.
Our next question will come from Ralph Russo. Go ahead, Ralph.
Hey, Bryce. Do you remember the first time you heard from a college coach that basically a scholarship offer that hey, we would like you to come play for us, how old you were and what your reaction was at that time?
Yeah, it was in 8th grade. It was the last day of 8th grade. I went out to Texas Tech. I had been in contact with them, and it was from Coach Cliff Kingsbury. He was the first coach to give me a scholarship offer in Lubbock, Texas, at Texas Tech. So yeah, I mean, it was a huge, it was a huge, it was a huge blessing, being that young and to get a scholarship offer. It was amazing. I was super excited. It wasn't really something that I was expecting, something you hope for and dream about, but for it to kind of be a reality that, obviously you have to maintain during high school and make sure your grades are good and all that. But it kind of became a reality that, I'll be able to play football at the next level. So kind of getting that confirmation, it was a tremendous blessing.
Next question will come from Mike Rodak. Go ahead, Mike.
Bryce, just what did you think of Nick Saban's jacket coming off the plane last night, and just what was it like for you kind of stepping into that air in Indianapolis?
Yeah, coach's jacket was fly. Coach is always gonna step in something we haven't seen before as a team, so that's to be expected. But stepping out in Indy, really just starts to set in. When the plane lands, you get out. It's obviously a different change in climate, but you really get that realization of, you're in this new environment. It's why you're here. Everyone understands what we're here for. So whenever you get that change in setting, it starts to get more and more real about what we've been working for. Knowing that the game's around the corner. So it was a great experience. It's always fun to play in different environments, but stepping out is really just that confirmation of when you get to the setting where you're going to play, what time it is. So for us, it was all just that reassurance and that confirmation to know that what we're here for, and it's time to lock in for that.
Next question will come from Zachary Powell. Go ahead, Zachary.
Hey, Bryce, thanks for doing this. I have two questions for you here. The first would be now that we're just a couple of days away here and you finally arrived in Indy. What is the mindset for you and the team right now? And secondly, obviously you played well in the SEC title game. So what are some things you think you'll have to do to be successful a second time against Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, our mindset is just, it's just all about the game. Obviously this is what you work for the entire season. This is what our goal has always been. So, we understand that this is a business trip. It's all for all of us. It's all about, the game on Monday. So it's a pretty simple mindset. It's not complicated at all. We all know what we're here for, and it's all about getting better and doing what we have to do to put ourselves in the best position when Monday comes. And for me, it's just about doing all I can to execute the game plan, taking what the defense gives. Again, just executing the calls and the reads as they are. I have tremendous faith in everyone around me and the coaching staff. So it's not. I don't feel like I have to do something that's out of character or out of the reads or go off script. It's all about believing in the game plan, believing in the people around me, which I completely do, and just doing what I've been coached to do and taking what the defense gives.
Our next question will come from Chris Brees. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, Bryce. So we just talked with Will Anderson a few minutes ago, and I was asking him about, his thoughts on that social media phenomenon going on with that karate emoji. And he claims that he has no idea what any of that's about. Celebration. It says it's an offensive thing. Is he lying? Number one, does he know what it is? And how do you feel about that whole thing spreading like wildfire?
Just the celebrations in the end zone.
He claims he has no idea that that's an offensive thing and doesn't know why you guys do it.
Oh, the celebrations. I mean, I believe him if he says it. That's kind of been our thing throughout the year. Those Karate Kid celebrations. So, I mean, I believe him. He said it. I don't think he has a reason to lie. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see it. He's probably on the sideline. No, Will, he's on the sideline, fire someone up or locked it when we're out there. So yeah, if he says it, I believe it.
Our next question will come from Joe Will. Go ahead, Joe.
As a younger player, how would you describe the relationship that you have with your senior running back, Brian Robinson Jr.?
Yeah, me and B-Rob are super close. Lockers right next to each other, so I get to see him. I get to be around him all the time, and then obviously on the field. But B-Rob's someone I've been cool with since I first got here. Someone who's from Tuscaloosa, who has been in the program for a while. And when I first got here, he was someone who was always super cool with me. Someone who was super welcoming when I was just a freshman. That means a lot to me. For him, last year being here as long as he did, he didn't have to, go out of his way to make sure I was good and to look out for me as just a freshman. But he made a priority to do that, and that's always meant a lot for me. Not just in football but in life, for someone to do that. So that's always meant a lot. And then throughout this year, obviously, we're always on the same page and stuff. On the field, off the field. That's someone I'm super close with. So it's always great to have someone like B-Rob around, and then it's just an added bonus when it's someone that's at running back that you collaborate with every single play. It makes it so much easier when off the field everything is cool too. So it's been great being able to be around B-Rob. It's been huge for me this year, last year. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to play with him.
We have time for a couple more. We'll begin with Mike Griffith. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Bryce. Hey, congratulations on a great season. Want to ask you about Mechie and just the comfort, the security. I mean, it looked like you guys could play catch in the dark on some of those third downs. I mean, how do you adjust mentally to losing a guy like that that's been such a go-to player for you this season?
Yeah, I mean, Mitch isn't someone that you can just replace. Losing Mitch was huge for us. That definitely hurt. It's really tough, but as coach is always saying, that's creates opportunity for other people. And we've had people step up in the wake of that. We've had a little bit of time to adjust, and again, people have stepped up in games, second half, ACC championship, and in the Cincinnati game. People stepped up and are going to continue to do that and practice the same thing. So it's not something you can replace. Someone like Mitch isn't someone you can just plug someone else in and get the same from. So it definitely hurt, but at the same time, again, it creates opportunities for others, and I have tremendous confidence in everyone at the position, just being able to work with them throughout the week, seeing the work they put in. So it's tough, but again, it as coach says, it's an opportunity for people. It creates opportunity when something like that happens. So it's just having the next man up mentality.
Our final question will come from Ivan Mazel. Go ahead, Ivan.
Hi, Bryce. We've talked a lot about a rematch in the media, and I'm just curious, given that you guys try to play to a certain standard regardless of who the opponent is, and given that the stakes are for the national championship, has Coach Saban even brought up this game is different because of rematch? Has he brought that up at all with y'all?
I mean, for us, it's all about, we really what he's talking about and we understand is that, what we've done in the past, obviously it's good to watch the film. It's good to learn from that. But we don't start with any more points because of anything that's happened with the past. Anything in the past is exactly that in the past. You don't get any carryover. So it's going to be a new game, and we have to earn the outcome that we want. So it's really just been knowing that whatever's happened in the past doesn't entitle you to anything at all. You learn from it, but we have to understand we're playing a completely different game. We have to understand that we have to earn that for 60 minutes. And again, it starts with the preparation, and day by day putting ourselves in the best position to be successful, when the game starts. But we understand it's different. We have to earn it. Anything that happened in the past, you learn from it, but it's in the past. So it's on us to work day in and day out and to earn the outcome that we want.
Medical Properties Trust, at the very heart of healthcare.